morning, everyone, from beautiful St. George, Utah. We are here for Thanksgiving, and we are going to go into Zion's National Park today to do a little bit of hiking before we get to our Airbnb later to meet up with a bunch of family for our Thanksgiving weekend. But I figured I would bring you guys along with me as we hike through Zion's and also explore St. George, do a little bit of a travel vlog for you guys. This is one of my family's favorite places to come. We come here quite a bit, and I come here a lot with my friends, and we really enjoy this beautiful park. So it is November and it's only like 50 degrees, so it's not too cold here. It's beautiful and there's actually not a lot of people, so hopefully we'll have a great day and have some fun doing some really fun hikes to show you guys. Okay, we're getting ready to hike Emerald Pools, the Emerald Pool Trail. So there's like an upper, lower, and like a middle Emerald Pool. So I think we're gonna try to do the first two. We'll see, but we just took the shuttle. We got dropped off in this beautiful little area. So we're excited to go hike. The Emerald Pools Trail is actually rated as like a family-friendly trail. It's really short, doesn't take very long, and it's not super steep. And actually the first up to the first pool, the lower one, it's completely paved, so people on wheelchairs can go on it, and it's very family friendly in that aspect. So we spent about an hour or an hour and a half maybe in total on the whole trail. We did all three pools, and I'll show you guys them as we go, but this is the first pool. You can kind of see it down there, and yeah, it's paved on this paved walkway. I will say one thing, once you got really close to the pool, is that it did get really wet around here because there's a couple of waterfalls that I'll try to point them out in a minute, but they do overflow onto this area, which you aren't getting like super wet. You can see here, like it's just it looks kind of like it's raining almost, so it's not too crazy, but it did make the ground a little slick in some areas. You do have the railing, so you don't have to worry about it too much, but just beware. After we made it to the first Emerald Pool, we decided to go to the next one, and this is where the hike started to get, it wasn't hard at all, like little kids were doing this, but you just aren't on the paved trail anymore, so you're going up, you know, slot canyons and dirt trails. So this was the middle Emerald Pool. It was beautiful, this beautiful view, and then we made our way to the upper Emerald Pool, and it did get a little steep in some parts. As you can see, my sister, she was a little tired, but we kept stopping because the views were just gorgeous, and the colors this time of year were so pretty and perfect for fall time, and it just made our experience very enjoyable as we went on this hike. So we eventually got to the last pool, which is I believe they call it the upper Emerald Pool, even though you're going down steps to get to it. And it was a little steep right here, so just be careful. We had to go one at a time, but we ended up getting to this, it's a pretty large emerald pool. During the wintertime, it actually goes down a little bit. It's usually a lot bigger than the current level is at. And there's actually snow and ice up here almost year round, I would say, because I've done this in the middle of the summer and there was some snow and ice, but there's a lot of areas for people to eat and hang out at. And so I would say that if I did this again, I would have my family bring a sack lunch with us, so that way we could eat at the top of the pool and just enjoy our time together before we headed back down. Okay, we're here at the final Emerald Pool. This one's the biggest one, and it doesn't look emerald, it kind of looks like poop.
I know that I've reiterated this so many times, but it really was just so beautiful.
And the hike down was obviously a lot easier than the hike back up, which was nice. And as we got kind of closer into like the middle of the day, there were more people who were there. And so I would definitely recommend doing this first on your list. That way there's not as many people, but it was still a really fun hike. And again, it didn't take us very long to do it, and it was very easy. So it didn't, make anybody upset or anything like that. We had a really good time. We then took the shuttle back to the main entrance, did a little bit of just hanging around, and even when you're on the shuttle, like the views from the bus are just beautiful, unlike anything else that you'll see. And even though Zion's National Park is actually pretty small compared to other national parks, it's one of my favorites just because it has beautiful scenery and unrivaled views. As we finished our time in Zion's National Park, we made our way over to this town of St. George where we were going to be staying with our family for our family reunion. And this reunion, we celebrated Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, each on a different day. So obviously Thanksgiving was on Thursday, we did Christmas on Friday, and then New Year's on Saturday right before we left. And we started off on Wednesday night. As we all slowly got to the house, we did a magic show. Each family had to come up with each trick, or I guess they all had to come up with their own trick, which was a lot of fun because we have a lot of great grandkids now. Like my cousins are having kids, and they were able to experience all the magic of the magic show. We also got to celebrate my grandfather's 75th birthday, which was really fun. He's turning 75 in December, but each person got to write an attribute about our grandfather that we love, and there ended up being over 75 attributes, so we all just read like a couple. We didn't do 75, that would take way too long. Then we sang our family birthday song, which is different from the regular happy birthday song. It's a little bit more upbeat and fun. And then we had a little party with cake and candles and got to just spend time celebrating my grandfather. The next morning was Thanksgiving, so we actually started off the day with a turkey trot, which I did not get footage of, but we then went over to a park and had a turkey bowl with our family. Now, we have a big enough family that it was actually just the men playing here, and a couple of the girls, I just went and cheered them on, but it was fun to see everybody play together. And then my grandpa ended up doing a strong man competition. Now, he had different categories, so he had like the older men, we had all the women, and then we had teenagers and then the littles in different categories. But this was the shot put that he put on, and it was actually done with a cannonball from Gettysburg, which he had. That's what we used as our shot put, and these guys are throwing it so far. After the men did it, the women did it, and I was like, oh, I'll be able to get it definitely as far as some of them, but no way. That thing was so heavy, and I barely got it like 5 feet. They also did different categories, like you had to squeeze a scale to see how much weight you could squeeze it, and the teenagers had to do push-ups and sit-ups, and they did like a basketball toss, and they did, you guys will see here, like they had to hold out the cannonball in their hand and see how long they could hold it, which was hard, and the little kids had to hold the dumbbell. It was quite cute. They also did a stick pull, which was fun to see. Some of the girls actually were able to beat some of the boys. They have really good strength in their grips, and but it was a fun way to spend our afternoon as we were waiting for the Thanksgiving Day dinner to be prepared. And for this dinner, each family had to come up with their own dish for Thanksgiving since there were so many of us, and we actually don't like turkey, so we had ham, which was delicious. To end the night, we did a family feud, and there were 8 families there. Well, actually, there were 8 families there, and so each family got to go twice and do 2 questions. And then to end the night, we did a Quiet Place challenge. Now, if you guys have seen the movie A Quiet Place, it's about these monsters that are blind, but they can find you using their sense of hearing. So we blindfolded people, and then we gave them Nerf guns, and we had about 40 people in this room, and you had to try to not get shot, because if you got shot, then you were then the next person to be it. And so we were hiding all over the place. We're like on top of tables, we're running behind them, we're hiding in cupboards and underneath the table, like underneath the cabinets. It was a lot of fun. So the next morning we were celebrating Christmas, and what we did for this morning was we went on a hike in Snow Canyon it was called Scout Cave, and my grandparents actually went on this, and it was a little difficult for them because it was you had to climb over quite a few rocks, but it was really cool. So we had a bunch of us in there. We ate lunch while we were up there, and we actually, some of my cousins, we like to climb, and so we did a little bit of climbing while we were there. You can see one of them's up there eating his lunch. It was a lot of fun, and just a fun way to keep busy on the day after Thanksgiving. And yeah, I would say that I would definitely do this hike again. I don't think I would take my grandparents on it, but it was a lot of fun. Then in the afternoon, we had our family Christmas party where each family came up with different minute to win it games that we had to do, and we tried to keep them Christmas themed. The Oreo one wasn't really Christmas themed, but if you think about it, Santa Claus has cookies, and so this was like a cookie eat. I don't know what you would call it, but it was a lot of fun. And as you can see in this one, there was like a candy cane relay where you had to pick up candy canes and take them from one side to the other. We did a peppermint stacking one. We did a reindeer toss. It was just a lot of fun. As we continued our family Christmas party, we ended up driving over to the Tuacahn Amphitheater, which was pretty close to our Airbnb, and it was beautiful. They had Christmas lights up everywhere, all along the walkways, and they also had different scenarios, I don't know what you would call them, but different scenes. So they had like Christmas trees and blow up things that you could take pictures in front of. They had Santa Claus there, but the main attraction that we went for was the live nativity, and it was in this giant amphitheater. We got front row seats, which was amazing, and they have a live nativity, so they have live animals and people walking in and out, and it takes about 20 minutes to get through the whole thing, but it was really, really cool and neat, and a good way to kind of kick off the Christmas season with this Christmas nativity and learning about the birth of Jesus Christ. We really enjoyed our time there, and I would definitely say that if you are in St. George during Christmas time, you should definitely do it again. I was outdoors and it was a little cold. We ended the night off with a white elephant gift exchange for our family Christmas party, and it was a great way to end the day. Our final morning was New Year's morning that we were celebrating, and it's family tradition to have waffles with ice cream for breakfast. Alright, you guys, that's a wrap on today's video. I just barely got home, and my family just dropped me off and is heading back to their home now, but we had such a good time in St. George for Thanksgiving, and our family reunion was so much fun. We really enjoyed being able to just spend a lot of time with lots of family that I don't get to see super often, which was a joy and delight to see, and we just had a really fun time being with each other and also exploring St. George a little bit more. We went to Zion's, which obviously I've been to before, but the other places like Tuacahn and Scout Cave and places like that, like I had never been to, and it was just really fun to like go and see what else this beautiful state has to offer. It's such a great place that I love living here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys all in my next one very soon.